Hey everyone, my name is Ben and welcome to Shades of Geek. As you can tell, Matt is not here and we're doing this earlier because of reasons. But you join me on you join as co-host. We have our international treasure, Fifty Shades of Geek. How are you doing today, Fifty?
The inmates are running the asylum. I don't know whose idea was it to have me co-host the show with you, but I'm fine with it.
Nice. And let's welcome our guest, Tony from Feature Presentation Productions. How are you doing today?
I'm doing grand. Thank you very much for having me on. I thought when you were saying about International Darling, you were talking about me, but of course.
Uh,
Uh,
I guess we have two international treasures today.
That's my nickname around here, the International Treasure.
fair. I only get called out in the bedroom.
So, if no one knows how this show works, we bring on a guest and they bring a topic. So, Tony, what topic would you like to talk about today?
Well, let's go topical since they've just happened the last 2 days. We've got the Golden Globes nominations that came out yesterday. We've got the SAG Awards that came out today. So just like, and since everyone has a love of movies in this community, or at least I hope so. Otherwise, what the fuck are you doing with your life? I think it'd be a good place to start and just talk about like what 2021 films, like what's gonna all the Oscar buzz and all that jazz.
Yeah, great, awesome. So, what movies did are nominated this year? Do you know?
I'm looking
No.
it up.
Okay.
So the big one that was really for the Golden Globes, especially, it was the fact that the Five Bloods didn't get any love whatsoever. Whereas for the SAG Awards, Chadwick Boseman was actually the first person to ever get 4 nominations for the Five Bloods for Rameini's. I can never remember the actual name of it. Rameini's.
The Five Bloods?
No, the other one, the one that just came out recently.
Ma Rainey's.
Yeah, Ma Rainey's. There we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one, he got nominated for both them and for cast. He's the first person to do that. So that's very interesting to see, like, just the two ways that they're dealing with him, especially because since his passing, it's like a lot of people thought that he would be much more, like, just glittered in awards.
I have the nomination in front of me if you want me to read them out.
Can you share it? Or can we bring them up?
Okay, that's even better. Hold on. Let me just share screen.
Cheers, Malcolm.
Where is it? There it is. Hi, everybody in the chat. Okay, so you guys can see it, right?
Yep.
So, best performance by an actor in a television series, musical, or comedy, because the Golden Globes love those weird categories. Don Cheadle from Black Monday, Nicholas Hoult, The Great, Eugene Levy, Schitt's Creek, Jason Sudeikis, Ted Lasso, and Rami Youssef as in Rami. Okay, best performance by an actress in a television series, musical, or comedy. Lily Collins, Emily in Paris, Kelly Coco, The Flight Attendant, Elle Fanning, The Great, Jane Levy, Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, Catherine O'Hara, Schitt's Creek. Again.
Yeah, well, Schitt's Creek, it was their final season, this one, and it's very, like, especially with the pandemic, a lot of people watched it, so this is like their final hurrah, so they're probably going to win everything, because even though Ted Lasso is one of the most brilliant TV shows you'll ever see, I adore that, and even not only just because it's about football.
It's a little sad, in my opinion, that they only gave them this much recognition to Schitt's Creek now in its final season. Like, where were you the last couple of seasons? But
well, that's always the issue, especially with TV stuff. It's that they always give it at the end, like, unless you're like something like The West Wing, which just gets nominated every single season, or like Big Bang Theory. Stuff like The Good Place,
or Game of Thrones
final season. Yeah, unless you're a tempo, just like they kind of have to like, oh, yeah, we have to give you this, otherwise people complain. It's like you only get it once, like you wrapped up, and it's just like we're gonna give you it for the your entire show instead of this one season, which is bullshit.
That's one of the. Go ahead, Ben.
Let me ask you guys this: did you guys watch Schitt's Creek?
Not me.
I honestly didn't like it that much. I don't know. I never got the reason why people were so like, "This is the greatest TV show of all time." It's like it very much was like it's got good comedy in it, but it's just like there were so many other shows that just did that style of comedy better. And like Eugene Levy, it's not that funny. Like the guy, like once you get over, just like, oh yeah, that's all the jokes we did in American Pie 20. Oh dear God, it is 20 odd years ago now. American Pie.
Oh my God.
God, I'm old.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just feels like it's just been just putting new treads on old tires at this point.
Shall I continue?
Yep.
Okay, best performance by an actor in television series in the drama category: Jason Bateman in Ozark, Josh O'Connor, The Crown, Bob Odenkirk, Better Call Saul, Al Pacino, Hunters, and Matthew Rhys, Perry Mason.
Hmm.
Best performance by an actress in the television series, like in the drama category: Olivia Colman, no surprise there. In The Crown, Jodie Comer, Killing Eve, Emma Corrin, The Crown again, Laura Kinney, Ozark, Sarah Paulson in Ratchet again, no surprise there. Anything you guys want to say, or should we move on to the next categories?
Well,
If
I
you've not,
want to say, after you please, Tony.
I was just gonna say, if you've not seen Killing Eve, you're missing out. That's an absolute cracking show. The Ratchet's on the event. Jesus wept.
Who's in that again? That's Sandra Oh, right?
Yeah, Sandra Oh is in Killing Eve, and it's just like very wonderfully well done, like comedic, like dark comedy. Like if you like dark British comedy, it is absolutely perfect. So if you like something like Fleabag,
Okay. Best performance by an actress in a limited series or motion picture made for television: Kate Blanchett, Miss America; Daisy Edgar Jones, Normal People; Shira Haas, Unorthodox; Nicole Kidman, The Undoing; and Anya Taylor-Joy in The Queen's Gambit. No surprise for me there.
the
Best television. What? Did any of you guys watch The Queen's Gambit? Finally, something I can talk about.
No, but please, 50. Talk away.
yeah, Queen's Gambit, it was very much like it felt weird the way that they did it, in the fact that it's like just the way everything that was building up to it, you expected to go one way, and you're just like, oh, you just went for the easy way out. So okay,
I didn't think it was easy at all. Like the fact that she lost a couple of the big matches. Spoiler, by the way, to get to the bigger matches. I thought it was a well-crafted story. I agree that it's not the best TV show of all time, like people say it is, but it was a really good show and one of the best I've seen this year. Speaking of which, best television series drama: The Crown, obviously; Lovecraft Country, heard a lot about that; The Mandalorian, obviously; Ozark, and Ratchet. Ratchet is something I need to watch, and because it's something that I wanted to watch and just completely missed.
it's not good. It's
Not
really
good?
yeah, it's really one of those shows where just like no
Oh,
one needed to go back and touch One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. We didn't need to know the whole story of Nurse Ratchet here. Like, just leave it in the past. Just like Jack Nicholson's movie Be It.
that's a little bit disappointing. Okay, I'll take your word for it. I'm still gonna see it eventually, but I'm a little less excited for that.
Yeah.
Best television limited series or motion picture for television. Hold on, I think I'm missing something. Oh, yeah, that's right. I missed out on this. What a bad host am I? Best performance by an actor in a limited series or motion picture made for television. This time it's the actor. Bryan Cranston, Your Honor; Jeff Daniels, The Comedy Rule; Hugh Grant, The Undoing; Mark Ruffalo, I Know This Much Is True; and Ethan Hawke in The Good Lord Bird. Any of you guys have? Huh? Go ahead.
I still love the fact that it's that for anything TV, if you're just a movie star and you just go into a TV show, you're guaranteed to get nominations. It's just absolute guaranteed, set in stone. If just like, please, if you come down and just do like 6 episodes, we guarantee you'll get 3 awards.
Well, here's a question for you guys. Bryan Cranston. He's from movies and TV, so is he a movie star?
Not in television. That's right.
And, oh, is he a TV star?
Well, name like 3 movies that he's done, then he's been a star of.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying. Like, where is it? Ethan Hawke, Mark Ruffalo, Jeff Daniels, Hugh Grant. These are all movie people.
Yes.
The exception, of
Yes.
course, is Bryan Cranston, who started on TV, evolved into
Right.
movies, and went back to television. So, yeah, I completely agree with our guest on
Yep.
this. Best performance by an actress. How many categories are in this thing?
It's quite a few. You might
Yeah,
want to
you
skip down
know,
to the movies or what have you.
let's
But
only do the acting categories. We don't have to do everything else.
yeah, I will say though that if you've not seen Small Axe, which John Boyega got nominated for, I don't think he gets nominated for much else. They are absolutely incredible. They're done by Steve McQueen, and they were on BBC over here for like, their 4 miniseries of movies, or 90 minutes, and just really telling them awesome stories.
Yep.
Yep. Well, we're at the film categories. Best motion picture, musical, or comedy. Borat, subsequent movie film. No surprise there. Hamilton, I'm a little bit iffy on.
Hamilton's not a movie.
That's exactly what my problem with it. It's not a movie. Why would you? Anyways, music. I haven't even heard of this one this year.
It's
Palm
just
Springs and the Prom. Never heard of
music
music.
just coming out. I think just in the next week or two. It's done directed by Sia, the musician, and it's like this whole like artsy fartsy thing, and it's apparently
I-
really good. But it's just like it's one of those ones where it's just like, yeah, it's gonna be pretentious wank.
I did not even know Sia directs movies.
So
I don't-
can I ask, why did you guys pick on Palm Springs?
I didn't see it. I don't think.
Did
I
you
Was
see
it
it?
released or was it streaming services?
It's on Hulu only at the moment worldwide.
That's why I didn't see it. Don't have Hulu where it is.
So I've not seen it because that would be illegal in my country to watch Hulu. So I can't say that it's really good. And Andy Samberg deserved some more nominations.
Okay.
I love that we're communicating through Morse code and speech. Okay, in the drama categories, The Father, Mank, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, and The Trial of the Chicago 7. Any of you guys have something to say about these?
I hear all of them are good. I hear Trial of the Chicago 7 is supposed to be incredible. I still need to see it.
Yeah, Promising Young Woman just came out over here, and it is one of those films where it's just like you just grab it on the edge of your seat and just like yes all the time.
So normally I would have seen at least half of these, but because we had such a crazy year this year, I don't think I've seen any of these. I mean, I want to watch Mank, and I've heard a lot of good things about Trial of Chicago 7. Other than that one's on Netflix?
Mank and Trial of Chicago 7 are both on Netflix.
That's great to hear.
Yes.
Well, I'll look it up after the show. Okay, best motion picture. Do we care about foreign language films?
Minari got fucked. Minari is one of the best films of this year, and the fact that it's only just being put in the foreign language thing instead of like getting released out in like the actual movie, the actual proper ones, just feels like you know, foreign cinema. You had your 1 year with Parasite. Just go back in the corner. Go back. We'll come back to you in like 6 or 7 years when we want another artist. But until then, piss off.
Why is it? What?
But yeah, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Why is it?
Like after you're 50. After you're 50.
I asked, why is it USA? I thought it was supposed to be foreign language.
It's Korean, but I believe it's because it was produced. Well, A24 released it, so that's why it's classed as American. But it's in Korean, and it's done by Lee Isaac Chung, who is a very interesting director.
Maybe it's better if they just write the language instead of the country that it was produced in.
True.
Something to think about. Okay, best screenplay. Emerald Fennell, Promising Young Woman, Jack Fincher, Mank, Aaron Sorkin, obviously, The Trial of Chicago 7. I keep pressing the wrong buttons by accident. I apologize. Florian Zeller and Christopher Hampton for The Father, and Chloe Zhao for Nomadland.
You know the story about Jack Fincher and Mank.
It was
So,
about Mankiewicz.
Well, it's about Mankiewicz, but the actual story of Jack Fincher, the writer of the story, that's David Fincher's dad, who died in the 90s. And so David found this script that was near enough completed from his dad and decided, I'm going to do this my next project. I don't care what it is. I'm doing it for my dad. And so that's what, so him getting credit. Honestly, the script, I would say, it's very much a 90s biopic because it was written in the 90s. It's very much, if you like Man on the Moon, if you like Chaplin, stuff like that, it very much is that style. It doesn't feel like they could have given it a bit of a polish and just made it a bit better. But I think it was very much just like, no, it's my dad's script. No one's touching it.
A product of the time it was written, yes. So that's a bit unfortunate. Do we care about Best Original Song this year?
You're the music man, 50.
I'm the music man. Since when am I the music man?
I thought you love Disney songs, don't you?
Oh,
It is
okay.
interesting, though. There isn't a Disney song in there this year. Like, I would have thought Soul, for example, but it's like Soul didn't really have that one song.
Yeah, it didn't really go the typical Disney route of just having a signature song for the movie.
So is Pixar, and Pixar isn't known for songs. Disney is.
But
Yeah.
but
that's not always true. The Toy Story trilogy definitely are known for their songs. The A Bug's Life definitely had a signature song in it.
Okay.
The first Oscar Pixar won was Best Original Song for Monsters Inc. If I Didn't Have You.
Yeah.
They always have that one song in there just because it's just like they aren't owned by Disney. Just like Disney just go, no, you need to follow our script a tiny bit here, mate. Just put in the song. It will work for the kids. But yeah, so being a movie that's such about music, not having that song or even onwards, weirdly, would have thought.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I'm sorry. How is that not nominated for Best Musical Comedy? That movie was amazing.
Soul? Yeah. I have no idea how that happened.
That should have been nominated.
Best actor in a supporting role in any motion picture. I love this. I love the category in any motion picture. They don't even have, like, the first one have comedy or drama, but or musical. But this one is just any category. This is one of the reasons why I don't follow the Golden Globes. They're very messy.
Oh, yeah.
They're very messy, and they're not.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, they're just fun to laugh at because you have like The Martian being nominated for Best Comedy, just so they have Matt Damon, and like The Tourist from 2010, that shit show with Angelina Jolie and Johnny Depp.
Yep.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes they just nominate things just for the sake of nominating things. That's why I never really put much stock in it. Plus, it's the Hollywood foreign press who votes on these things. It's not actual people involved in the industry. So that's why I really couldn't care less about the Golden Globes until we started talking about it on this show. But Best Supporting Actor, Sacha Baron Cohen for Charles Chicago 7, Daniel Kaluuya, Judas and the Black Messiah, Jared Leto, The Little Things, Bill Murray, On the Rocks, Leslie Odom Jr. in One Night in Miami. And for the actress, Glenn Close. Oh no, too many similar looking letters. Hillbilly. Thank you. Olivia Colman, The Father. Jodie Foster. I thought it was going to say The Martian, but nope, it's the Mauritanian. Amanda Seyfried, Mank, and Helena Zengel, News of the World. I'm going to go through these quickly because we're never going to make it out of the show alive if I
Wait, what? Before you start, what category is this?
Which one? This one? It's Best Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy.
Okay.
Sacha Baron Cohen, obviously. Borat, subsequent movie film. James Corden, The Prom. Lin-Manuel Miranda. Hamilton, again, Why Is This Here? Dev Patel, The Personal History of David Copperfield, Andy Samberg, Palm Springs. Best Motion Picture Animated. Finally, our boy gets some love. The Croods came out this year.
It did. It snuck out. It
yeah.
snuck out.
Forgot about that. Onward, Over the Moon, Saul, and Wolfwalkers. And since I have Ben on the show, I have a hot take for you, Ben.
Okay.
I think Onward was better than Saul.
Really?
My opinion.
Wow.
That's just my opinion.
I think
Maybe
Onward-
I gravitated to the familial parts of Onward better than the familiar parts of Soul. I'll say that.
I understand that. What loses me on Onward, personally, is on final act. I didn't need, spoiler alert, I didn't need that dragon there. I feel like that was something they added, just for adding something. And I didn't need, is it like cop boyfriend of the mom? There was one character I feel like you didn't need in that movie, in my opinion.
We can have a full discussion on this on Ben's hot take. But
I was gonna say-
I completely disagree with both those points. Maybe it's because I don't have a Soul. I didn't like Soul as much. Go ahead, Tony.
I was going to say for this one, it's probably been actually a quite poor year for Pixar all in all. Onwards and Soul aren't that great, especially if you compare it to some stuff that came out recently. So that you compare like to Coco, Inside Out, stuff like that. Whereas if
Yeah.
you've not seen Wolfwalkers is a fantastic Irish film. It's really beautifully well animated and the story is absolutely beautiful. If you've not seen it, it's on Apple TV Plus, so give that a crack.
Still can see it.
If that doesn't win like the Academy Award this year, it just basically is like is what it is. That is well, but the Academy is rigged to go to Disney for any animated film because fucking Toy Story 4 should not have won last year.
What was it up against? I forget.
It was up against Claws, one of the best Christmas films of all time.
Yeah, I agree. Toy Story 4, good movie. Definitely not up to Pixar's level.
Oh god, it's the worst of it. It is very much the case. So there is no reason for that movie to exist. The story that they had did not need to be told. It's like, oh, Woody gets to go and figure out stuff. You have a fork now. It's like, why the fuck does that story need to happen at the end of Toy Story 3? Toy Story 3 was just the perfect ending for that trilogy, and it's now and it's just Toy Story 4 is just like the tag on at the end. It's just like no, just no.
I appreciated Toy Story 4, but I respect your opinions. And I agree, it didn't need to happen, but then again, Toy Story 3 didn't need to happen, and Toy Story 2 also didn't need to happen. They still happened, and moving on. Best Actor in a Motion Picture Drama category. Didn't we already go through this?
No, this
No, it was the series. Sorry, my bad. So, Chadwick Boseman, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Riz Ahmed, The Sound of Metal, Anthony Hopkins, The Father, Gary Oldman, Mank, and Tahar Rahim in The Mauritanian. And just to lump it in with the same category as the actress in the drama, Viola Davis, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom again, Andra Day, The United States versus Billie Holiday, Vanessa Kirby, Pieces of a Woman, something I will never get to see, Frances McDormand, Nomadland, and Carey Mulligan, Promising Young Woman. Anything stand out to you guys?
I haven't seen any of this. Have you, Tony?
Yeah. So obviously the Golden Globes are really a precursor to what the Academy is going to do because where it's normally the case where the Globes go, the Academy follows for the Oscars. So looking at this, like seeing Riz Ahmed in there for the Sound of Metal is fantastic because that movie is really good. But because bizarrely in this world where even though everything went on digital, this one snuck out and just no one really talked about it that much. And it's that, so I would highly recommend that one. But I think probably Mank is gonna be like the dominant force this year, just because it's a story about old Hollywood, and old Hollywood likes to just give itself a little happy time sometimes.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these movies suffer from the curse of 2020, where they, like you said, they most of them, these I'm assuming came out on digital, and people just didn't really have a chance to see them as much as as if they would have been released in theaters. I think there's still that little bit of separation, even in a year like 2020. People prefer to watch these art house, Oscar bait type of movies on the movie theater as opposed to in their homes, which is the only place they can watch these movies right now. So it's a little bit sad that a lot of people, other than other people who vote on these movies, didn't really get to see them. Okay, best. Nope, didn't skip anything. Best actress in a motion picture, musical, or comedy: Maria Bakalova, Borat subsequent movie film; Kate Hudson, music; Michelle Pfeiffer, French Exit; Rosamund Pike, I Care a Lot; and Anya Taylor-Joy in Emma. And to lump it in with the best actor category, Sacha Baron Cohen again, without making his third appearance on this list today, or fourth, I can't remember. Borat subsequent movie film; James Corden, The Prom; Lin-Manuel Miranda, Hamilton. We already talked about that one. Dev Patel, The Personal History of David Copperfield; and Andy Samberg in Palm Springs. Interesting, something that I'm noticing just now, it's the same 6, 7, 8 movies repeating themselves. Like, I know 2020 has been what it is, but did the Hollywood foreign press didn't see any other movie this year?
Well,
Like,
it's always that case with, especially with these fans, just they always go to 10. These are the 10 that we accept as Oscar worthy. These are the ones that we think of Academy worthy, and it's like, so seeing stuff like The Prom is just baffling to me, because A, it's a terrible film, and B, James Corden should nowhere be near an acting award. That guy is the fucking worst.
oh,
If you've not seen it, The Personal History of David Copperfield is probably one of the best British comedies for the past 5-10 years. It's just excellently well done, and it's just really, they did a really awesome job of doing it as a racial blind casting. So it's just like, there's not like Dev Patel obviously is an Indian fella playing the main character. This is just a complete, like, there's no rhyme or reason as to why, oh, that person's X but this person's Y. It's just like, nope, doesn't care. They're just funny people doing a great job, and so it really works well for making the film just even that much better.
okay, I'll take your word for it. Go ahead, Ben.
Well, I wonder. Well, I will go after you. You first, 50.
Okay, quick question. Any of you guys see The Gentleman that came out last year?
No, I want to. Is that streaming anywhere? Do we know?
I don't know. I saw one of the few movies I saw in theaters last year, but it was my number one favorite movie of last year. For a very long time, until something else replaced it. And to know what that is, tune in to Gets Ready, which will be live tomorrow. Is it tomorrow, Ben?
No, it's Saturday.
The Gentleman is
From my point of view, that is tomorrow. So okay, never mind.
The Gentleman is available over in your neck of the woods, Ben, on Showtime.
Okay, thank you.
Did you see it, Tony?
I did. I am British, so I have to watch anything Guy Ritchie does, otherwise we get kicked out of the country. It's very much a return to form of his, in the fact of going back to the classic Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrel, Snatch type of feel. It's like, I always get criticism because I will always sing the praises of Aladdin. His Aladdin from 2019 with Will Smith. I honestly think it's on par, if not better than the original. But this one very much is going back to what made Guy Ritchie be Guy Ritchie. Gentleman, it's just if you ever liked anything he's ever done, then Gentleman, go watch it. It's absolutely cracking.
I've never been one of those people who had a problem with Charlie Hunnam in Pacific Rim. Everybody hated him in that movie, but in this movie, The Gentleman, it's a completely different tune from what I'm hearing, and he was great in that movie. That's just what.
How is what's his name? Colin Farrell. How is he?
He was really good. This is gonna be funny. He was basically playing a British version of Bobby Gucci from the Schmodown.
I could see that.
You didn't see that?
No, I could see that. It's very much like.
I didn't. Sorry. You know exactly what I'm talking about when you watch the movie. Just if you ever wondered what British Bobby Gucci would be, watch The Gentleman. That's all I can say. Best Director, David Fincher for Mank, Regina King. I apologize. One Night in Miami, Aaron Sorkin, The Trial of Chicago 7, Chloe Zhao, Nomadland, and Emerald Fennell in Promising Young Woman, matching the director herself.
This is very important because it's the first time that women have ever outmatched the men in any award ceremony. Regina King is the second black woman to ever be nominated for this. Chloe Zhao is the first Asian woman to ever be nominated for this, and so this is very promising because it's always been that thing of just like you look like Little Women was the only one nominated last year, like but Go didn't get nominated, stuff like that. This is a very good sign of just like okay, there might actually be something coming for females. Like Promising Young Woman is one of those films that should kind of it in a normal world it would have kind of just been lost by the awards by now. But a film that I should mention that's not been mentioned at all on this that really got shafted is The Invisible Man.
Yes.
The Invisible Man is one of those films where it did what it was meant to do. It's a horror film, so it's never going to get any love because the last time a horror film did anything decent was Silence of the Lambs back in '92. It's like it's always like horror and comedy for any award series is just like you're never going to go anywhere far, mate. And it's just like that one, just like Elizabeth Moss should be like looking and going, wait,
Yeah.
out of every year, this is the year I'm not getting stuff.
It bothers me that horror movies, genre movies, and comedy movies never get any love. Well, I don't want to say never, but hardly ever get any love in the awards categories. Look, horror movies can be good too, and this is coming from a non-horror fan. I am not typically a horror fan. Invisible Man was great last year, so I agree with you. It should have been at least more looked. And I think this is the bottom of the list. Best original score: The Midnight Sky, Tenet.
First time it's mentioned.
Which is kind of weird. It's a Christopher Nolan movie. First time it was mentioned. News of the World and Mank. Any of you guys watch Tenet?
I did.
What do you think, Ben?
There's a reason why it wasn't mentioned until now.
Yes.
It's not great. And I feel like I have to watch it one more time, which is never a good time for a movie after the first viewing. You should want to watch a movie for a second time because it was so good you can't wait to see it. You shouldn't be like, I have to watch it one more time to understand this goddamn movie. If you guys know what I mean.
Here's why I disagree. Because remember, Christopher Nolan made that movie with the intention of having it being seen on a movie theater. Mm-hmm. And the movie theater is where movie studios make their money by having people going multiple times over and over. So that I believe that was part of the strategy. He didn't plan for people to see it in streaming to just,
But to be honest, I watched it in streaming. I don't think I would have liked it any better if I saw it in a theater. And don't get me wrong, the visuals were beautiful. Maybe that would have been okay. Maybe I'll go see it one more time for the visuals. But my issues with visual, they were sound and they were story. And the movie theater won't help you with that, in my opinion.
Yeah, it very much is like Christopher Nolan has this tendency to get to up his own arse in the fact that it's just like he'll make a movie, but it's just like, oh, he's very much like trying to be in the middle of two roads, but he can't be. He wants to be the big blockbuster guy. He wants to do the Michael Bay stuff, make the billions of dollars, all that. But he also wants to be the art house guy. He wants to be the Charlie Kaufman. He wants to do like I've got a sophisticated story about love and romance and all this. And he wants to try and merge those two, and it just doesn't work. And he's not the director to do that. It's like he needs to pick a lane and stay there. It's like if Nolan wants to go, I'm going to do a movie like Inception again. Like, great, there's a concept to it, but it's just like it's a blockbuster at the end of the day. It's fun, it's big, it's banging. Or if he wants to go and do, I'm going to do another Memento, that'll be absolutely amazing. Memento is one of his best films, but it's not something that you need to spend $200 million just to get the first 5 minutes in. He needs to pick a lane and stick to it, because trying to do both at this point in time is like especially when you have people like Denis Villeneuve who can actually do that. It's just like he's kind of fucked.
Well, let me ask you guys a question. You guys don't have to answer if you don't want to. Do you have a favorite Christopher Nolan movie?
Inception.
Yeah.
Inception?
Great minds think alike. Listen, I think, forgive me for saying this, I think you were being a little too kind to the wonderful Mr. Nolan. If you want to know my true opinions on Tenet, I think it was just 2.5 hours of Christopher Nolan masturbating to a picture of himself.
Yeah, it's potentially
Going, oh yeah, I'm so smart. I'm the best filmmaker in the world. Ooh, inversion. Ooh, different timelines. People are going to love it. And it's just, get off your mind. Inception was great. The Batman trilogy, highly revered. Dunkirk, yeah.
Dunkirk.
I just watched what is it called? The Prestige for the first time. That's a good movie.
The issue with the Prestige is once you've seen it once, it's knowing how the whole thing about it's being a magic trick. Once you know how the magic trick is done by the end of the film, the second you go watch it, every time you go watch it now, it's just like you can feel Christopher Nolan just edging you in the ribs, going, you see what I'm doing here. You see what that means. You see how that's going to the end. You see that. You see that. You see how
So it's the
clever I
opposite
am.
of
Yeah, oh, and you play devil's advocate for a second? I've never seen the movie, but I did know that twist at the end. So
It's
maybe
pretty much
that's why. What?
It's pretty much out there at this point.
I know, I'm just being safe. But, even though I knew the twist, I still really, really like that movie. Now,
That's that's the hallmark of a great movie. Like, I knew, spoiler alert, I knew Darth Vader was Luke's father before I saw Empire Strikes Back. I knew the Doctor, I knew Bruce Willis was dead in The Sixth Sense before I watched the movie.
I was gonna
I
watch
still
that
enjoyed the movie. I knew Mr. Glass was the bad guy the whole time. I still enjoyed the movie. There's an art to making a movie where even though you already know how it ends, like Mufasa dying, because I have to throw the Lion King into this somehow. Even though you know it's coming, it still gets you the same way as if you're watching it for the first time. And I don't think Christopher Nolan's the guy to do that.
However, there's also that negative on that. It's just where if I hear one more fucking reviewer in my life go, you're never gonna get the twist, I'm gonna punch someone in the face, because I hate that with a passion, because they're pretty much going, just spend the entire time waiting, just wait for that moment, wait for that twist, and it's just like it ruins the movie, because you just said just like, I'm not enjoying this movie, I'm just waiting to see what happens, I'm just waiting to see the twist, I'm waiting to see the cameo. Like when people could do stuff like that, it's just like, thanks for ruining this for me. Like, oh, you're never gonna guess who that cameo that makes appearance in 5 minutes into Kingsman 2. Just like, great, I'm not paying attention till the first 5 minutes is over.
I think every time you hear someone tell you about a movie before you watch it, it affects your viewing experience one way or the other. And I think what you're saying is, oh, you'll never guess what the twist is. That, I think sometimes it's belittling the intelligence of the person watching it. Because sometimes people actually do work out the twist halfway through the movie.
Oh yeah, like people can work at the twist and stuff. But if you tell someone going into the film just like, oh, you'll never get the twist, or there's a twist coming, watch out for it. Just like, thanks for spoiling the film. You've not told me what the twist is, but you told me there's a twist.
Okay,
there's a twist. Let me just watch the movie.
Yeah.
50, I want to ask you something. Now, I know who you are. I'm guessing you've seen Detective Pikachu, right?
Yeah.
Do you even know me, Ben?
How long into that movie did you know the ending of that movie?
Oh, about 5 minutes into it.
50?
It was one of those movies where that twist wasn't really needed, but it's like, because it's pretty much formulaic storytelling, because it's meant for more children based. It's meant for like, that's that story, but it's just like, it's more just the fact for like a more adult viewer, just like, yeah, Deadpool's a fucking Pikachu. How amazing is that? He can't swear, but it's still Deadpool inside a Pikachu.
To go to your point though, Tony, I did. It took me a while to figure it out. I didn't make it out in the first 5 minutes because I didn't know there was supposed to be a twist.
Okay.
Which wasn't your point. I wasn't looking for an explanation as to why Pikachu can talk. As far as I can tell, they smoked that purple gas thing, and that's why he can hear him and no one else could. That's what all the explanation I needed. I didn't need
So you
secret
didn't,
the whole time.
okay, fuck it. You didn't know that Ryan Reynolds, the father, was Pikachu.
I wasn't even thinking in that direction because I didn't need to. Again, like I said, as far as I hoped, at least my brain hoped that there really was a mystery to solve. The dad is missing. They need to find him. I didn't expect.
I don't know if I ever asked you this. Did you like that movie?
It was fine. I mean, it wasn't the Pokemon movie that I wanted to see, but it was a live action Pokemon movie. Something we've been waiting 20 plus years for, and it's the 25th anniversary of the franchise this month. So at least we got, and it wasn't the product we wanted, but at least we got it out of the gate. Now let's try to build upon that, make a better live action Pokemon movie, like what I hope is going to happen with the Sonic the Hedgehog sequel.
Did you like that Sonic movie?
Oh, Sonic is great. It's probably
Interesting fact. I had such high hopes for the Pokemon movie, and after the first trailer, I had such low expectations for the Sonic movie.
Yeah.
Turns out I liked the Sonic movie more than the Pikachu movie because of the difference in expectations. Like I said, anything that people tell you about a certain movie influences your experience watching it.
You know what? I'm the same way. I think I really like Pikachu trailer, but I think that's because of who was voicing him, Ryan Reynolds. And I was disappointed by that movie. But seeing the Sonic trailer, I didn't think I would like that movie. But I really enjoyed that movie. Jim Carrey was a big fun of that.
Jim Carrey's amazing in that film. He literally just you just gave him the scenery, just like chew on this, please, for the love of God, just chew on this and pretend it's 1994 again. But with Sonic, it's very interesting because it did something that not a lot of video game adaptations do. Instead, it took the main bits of the story character. It took Sonic, how Sonic looks. It took the rings. And he's like, okay, we're just going to make a complete new story now. Just like, we're not going to have Green Hill Valley or anything like that. We're not going to have like Dr. Robotnik stealing small animals. We're going to make our own story. We're just going to have Sonic the Hedgehog as a character, and we're going to give him a new character. We're going to give him new personality with Ben Schwartz. And I think that's what it does really well, because whenever you try and do a adaptation of just like, oh, we're going to do Prince of Persia, but we're going to do it in a movie, just like, no, because that's a 20-hour story that you're cutting down to 2 hours now. It's not going to work unless you take the whole story and just like completely make a new one. Like that's what the new Tomb Raider kind of does, which is quite a good film.
Yeah, you gotta understand also that these mediums are built for gameplay. Without the gameplay, the story doesn't work. So when you're adapting it into a movie, keyword adapting it, you gotta infuse your own story into it. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a game called A Way Out, which I played very recently. It is such a cinematic story. It's a beautifully told story. It falls apart without the gameplay because it lives and breathes on the gameplay aspect, especially the co-op nature of it.
Well, I really like that kind of you don't have to adapt anything, because when you then take the characters and you adapt and then put them in a new situation, kind of, you get the Super Mario Brothers movie. Yeah, that was nothing like the game. And we know how that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Just like the case, it feels like the more that you get away from the game, the more that you get away from the arc of the story of the game, the better the movie always are. And it's just like, I think that's just the way it has to be in future. Like if you they're always talking about, oh, we're going to do The Last of Us as a movie. It's like if they just try and just take the script from Last of Us and just do it, like it'll be okay, but you might want to work on it a bit more.
Yeah, try to make, because in games you are in control. You are the character. You see the story through the character's eyes. And in movies, it's a little bit different than that. I think there's a fine balance in trying to find like a soft spot between adapting the story from the game, but creating something new that doesn't necessarily revolve around
Or
the
you can
game.
just do every movie as Hardcore Henry, where it's the first person perspective, and that, dear God, that movie was the absolute worst.
I heard people got sick watching that movie.
I did. It's just made. I just got really queasy watching it just because of the way it just shakes everything. It's just some like I don't know why, cause like Cloverfield and stuff like that. I'm fine with that movie. Just something about it. Just like I think it's just the colors as well. Just I was like, okay, I should have had Mexican food before going to the cinema.
Are you excited for Free Guy, which was supposed to be last year, but apparently coming out this year?
I am. I can't wait for that movie.
Yeah, like you got
Yeah.
Remo Taquaititi, so that was a good pairing. But it's like it's one of those ones where the fact that it didn't get released, it didn't just get passed on and just like, oh yeah, we'll just throw it on thing online. Why not? I think that's kind of a bit nervy. I think if it was as good as we all wanted it to be, it could have just gotten like just pushed up this like either the beginning of this year or like late last year.
Maybe because it's as good as everyone wanted to be, they push it to next year because they want it to be in theaters, as opposed to.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's it, but they're risking a lot. Because that movie is one of those movies where if they don't promote it right, it could
Mhm.
flop and lose a ton of money.
When is it coming out? Let me just
It's
quickly.
coming out May 21st, so it 100% is going to be moved again because there is no way in hell cinemas are going to
Yeah.
be open by May. I
But
don't
to
know.
go, but to go to Ben's point, you got to promote it. You know I'm not the sports guy, but the Super Bowl's coming up. Trailers. You might see something for Free Guy,
That's a good guess.
especially if they still pretend it's going to be released in May.
Yeah.
Which it probably won't.
It's very interesting because that's one of the last ones that Fox did on their own. Then they got bought by Disney. I'm shocked about because I know the Stars was out in America, but it's over here. Like so that's like where they're putting all like it's basically Hulu for Disney Plus, where they're putting like Die Hard and all the other like the ones where they can swear in.
Yeah.
I'm shocked they didn't just put this one on just as like oh yeah, come watch us. You gotta pay £3 extra, but you can watch Free Guy. You can watch the new Ryan Reynolds film.
It's a weird one for me. Talking about video games, are you guys going to see Mortal Kombat? In that?
Mortal Kombat. I gotta be honest with you, Ben. I did not watch the original movies. I've never really been a huge fan of the Mortal Kombat games.
Same.
Like, I'm not the biggest fighting game fan. I mean, I love the Injustice games, but it's mostly because it's got DC characters that I love.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Tekken, all those never really spoke to me all that much. But I mean,
Yeah.
if it's a new movie that comes out in theaters, if theaters are open by then, of course I'll watch it.
Well, I forget when it's coming out. It's Warner Brothers, so it's coming out in theaters and HBO Max.
Ruining my day, Ben.
What?
Thanks for ruining my day. Thank you for reminding me that it's coming out on a streaming service I can't.
That's how it is.
You can get it. You can't get it. You can't say there's no such thing.
I
as
know,
streaming.
I know. Don't feel good doing it, but I know.
It's so tough. I guess you're in the same boat as me. Just like watching with HBO Max, just going, just why? Just either release it worldwide or like because I don't know what the cinemas are like over your neck of the woods, but for over here in the UK, it's just like, yeah, they ain't gonna open properly until 2022, and then even then, it's just like I ain't going. I don't want to be stuck in a room full of strangers until I've got like 15 different injections stuck in my body. Half of them being for COVID, the other half just for fun.
I guess this is where the benefit comes of being in the #1 country in the world when it comes to vaccinated people.
Oh, nice.
with regards to population. I myself haven't got vaccinated because I want the people who need it the most to get it first, and then I'll get vaccinated myself. But if I hear tomorrow that movie theaters are opening back up in a month or two, shoot me up. And I know that if I'll go to the movie theater and I'll play it safe, mask, gloves, stay away from people, don't touch anything, don't touch your face, wash your hands if you need to. I know I'll be safe. I'm okay with going back to the movie theaters. I'd go right now if I had the option, but they've been closed since March and they haven't opened once since. They opened gyms for some reason, but apparently movie theaters aren't safe enough.
But
Yeah,
because it's a sedentary thing being in the cinema. If you just sat there, if it just takes one person just to not be wearing a mask and cough, and just like 20, 30 people are fucked.
That's another benefit of where I live because most people, especially for like what we talked about earlier, the Golden Globe nominations, the smaller indie films, almost nobody watches these movies. So I'm fine going to those. But the big blockbuster ones, the MCU, Star Wars, DCU stuff, Godzilla, King Kong, Mortal Kombat, as we were talking about, those are probably going to be some enforcing needed to be done.
True.
In the theaters for those.
Godzilla and Kong, that's another one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, me too. Are you, Tony, are you team Kong or Team Godzilla?
Okay, so one of them's a giant monkey, the other one's a radioactive dragon.
Yeah.
How could I not be on the radioactive dinosaur? Because it does have wings. How can I not be on the radioactive dinosaur side? Also, they are just the better movies. Like the King Kong from the 30s, it's fine. But if you actually watch the Japanese Godzillas, like, yes. Is that purple Godzilla? A blue Godzilla, I should say. I'm colorblind.
Yeah, I call him Godzi. I got him in a loot crate a year ago. I actually went to see Godzilla King of the Monsters with this.
Nice. How is that movie, 50?
I really liked it, but
Really?
tore it apart. Like, I liked Godzilla 2014. It wasn't the best thing I ever saw. I loved Skull Island. I think Skull Island so far is the best in this new era of the franchise. Godzilla King of the Monsters wasn't as good as Skull Island, but I really liked it. Again, I think the main problem is they're focusing way too much on the human characters in a movie about giant monsters fighting each other. Like, why is that even an issue? Why do I need to care about this family that's broken apart because the father was too focused on his work and the mother's trying to save the world and the daughter is 11 from Stranger Things for some reason? Why do I need to care about this stuff when there's a... Go ahead.
The reason why is because that's how the Japanese films did it, because Godzilla was the allegory for the nuclear bombs that dropped in Japan just a couple of years prior. So the whole putting the emphasis on the family and stuff like that was more a case of just like Godzilla was more of just a case of how do we live after this devastation of a world. So they're trying to do that now with the American versions, and it's just like, nah, it ain't working. Like if you want a really good Godzilla film recently, Shin Godzilla, SHIN.
I heard a lot of good things about that one.
It came out 2016 over in Japan, and if you want like Godzilla at its finest, just like that is just it. That is like everything about it is just yes.
Also, gotta recommend. It's a Pokemon movie. Pokemon Destiny Deoxys. It's basically Godzilla-ish, but a gigantic dragon monster fighting an alien from outer space in a Japanese city with some humans running around. But it's really it's a great monster movie story, and I really liked it. A little bit of a different situation because I actually care about the characters in that movie because they're characters from an ongoing anime series. But
Isn't Ash and all the regular characters in that movie?
it's Ash with the Hoenn characters. I don't think you ever carried on away to the Hoenn is the third generation.
Okay,
The first one, but it's
Hoenn is the red light district of Kanto. You go there, you certainly can catch them all in the Hoenn district.
Ben is the original Red and Blue.
Yeah.
Franchise.
And Golden Silver. And Golden Silver.
I
That's
was
mostly a lot of people. That's where most people stopped. That's where I
Yeah.
stopped for a lot of years, and then I went back to it.
So I had to stop after Gold, well at Gold, because my parents got me a dodgy copy of Pokemon Gold, and so it was all just random swear words just put in there, and it's like, so the potions weren't called potions, they were called drugs, and it was like, you fucking killed that Squirtle. It was just like, it was just this complete, this absolute knockoff, and it was just like, and the show my mum just wants, just like, what's this heroin mean? And it's like, nope, you're never playing that again. Goes in the bin. Goodbye. So it's just like, I was stuck with Pokemon Yellow.
Okay, that was a weird twist in the plot.
It was, yeah,
But,
it was very
yeah.
weird. It just like, oh yeah, you just murdered Squirtle. It's like, I did what? Sorry, I'm a 10-year-old boy. I've just killed my Pokemon. No, it's like
Now,
Nuzlocke, but
for the audio listeners, this is what a Nuzlocke really looks like. Pokemon fans will get that joke.
I just finished a Nuzlocke the other week. I had doing on Pokemon Red. Had a Nidoqueen, just literally just carried my ass the whole way through. Just like, I love you, marry me, Nidoqueen.
In Gen 1, Nidoqueen is definitely the best. It was highly recommended by the I believe the world record speedrunner of Red and Blue.
Oh, wow.
Nidoqueen can just learn every single TM in the game. It's crazy.
Oh, I remember Little Queen.
Go ahead. Finish
No,
your
after you.
No, finish your sentence.
He was the one that was, no, when,
Hold on.
I'm getting him confused with something. It was someone else.
So I was gonna say, fun fact, since we were talking about Godzilla versus Kong earlier. First of all, Ben, this is what Nidoking looks like. Share screen. This is Nidoking.
Yeah, okay.
Coming back. Did you know it's actually loosely based on a Godzilla villain?
Really?
I can see.
Like,
that.
if I were to ask you, you look at this creature. Well, let's find a better picture of him. You look at this creature. What do you see exactly?
Okay, and to be completely honest, I don't know that much about any of the Godzilla villains, so...
I'm not talking about Godzilla. As far as animals, you know animals, right? What do you see?
A rhinoceros and rhino.
It's a rhinoceros, dinosaur, gorilla, rabbit, mouse thing. However, it is actually loosely based on Baragon from the Godzilla franchise.
Wow.
I've slept with someone that look like that. That's why I stopped drinking.
I mean, just look at this thing. Plus, Baragon in the movie, he likes to drill things. He digs into the ground, which is why Nidoking is given the ground type on top of being a poison type. Not a lot. It's a small fun fact that I recently discovered. You'd be surprised how many Pokemon, especially from the older generations, how many Pokemon are basically kaijus from Godzilla or Ultraman or Super Sentai stuff. It's a rabbit hole. Let's just put it that way. It's a gigantic rabbit hole.
What? Okay, I forget. I'm sorry. I haven't played in a long ass time. What's the difference between Nidoking and Nidoqueen? Is there like a huge difference?
One's a boy and one's a girl.
Yeah, and I thought that was pretty obvious.
Well,
No,
other than that, is there any other differences? Or is
there's
that
literally no. There's the only difference is that it was just annoying when you were trying to get your Nidoqueen male, and it's just like a Nidoran male, and just it kept coming up with a female sign, and just like you had to figure out which one was which when you were a kid.
Yeah.
They have the gender name in the name, I believe.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, they have different base stats. They can learn different moves and such. And since we're on this Nido King and Nido Queen rabbit hole, let me just take us all back to that. Did you know that in Gen 2 they introduced breeding?
Yes, I remember that. I remember you had to like drop them off in daycare for them to
Yeah, let him go
fuck.
bang.
Yeah. And like,
Yeah.
what kind of daycare is that?
Allegedly, they never explicitly say that.
Oh,
Well, I mean, you have a male and a female, and then when they come back,
also it was Brock in an anime that used to be the one that wanted to be a breeder, and just like just his pervy ass, you knew that he was what wanted to see dinosaurs fuck.
Yes. And here's a fun fact: Nido Queen cannot breed. Neither can Nidorina. Only Nidoran. The first stage.
wow.
These two cannot breed, especially not with Nido King.
I
But
was about to
they
say, I
Well,
feel sorry for the small Nidoran then, that it's just going to get absolutely just worn like a sock puppet.
yeah. But does anyone have any guesses as to why that is?
I'm guessing they don't have any genitalia. I don't know.
I mean, almost every Pokemon is in an egg group. They can breed. Most of them.
Yeah.
You may not be able to see the genitalia, but they can, except for
Okay.
these. You want to know why?
Yeah.
Go on.
Because of the rhinoceros connection. Because
Oh.
apparently, female rhinoceroses can't breed in captivity, only in the wild.
True.
So it's a nice little interesting fact that they decided to add in there.
I am curious now, where if you think about it, just like how many people went into like zoology and stuff because of Pokemon, just like especially people like that specialize in bugs. Just how many of them just were like, oh yeah, back in the day, I used to spend hours finding the perfect Caterpie. No,
I think 50 years near knew that, right? More or less?
Yeah, I do shiny hunts every once in a while. And plus, I mean, I'm designing a Pokemon game myself, so I gotta go into all this research and stuff and learn about these things. It's actually very fascinating why certain Pokemon look the way that they do, or why they can do certain things that you would normally assume they shouldn't be able to do.
I
So,
forget, you're the expert here. Mountain Cup, who did he evolve to? What's that? Dragon
Gyarados,
thing?
a giant
Yeah.
snake
Yeah.
in the Detective Pikachu movie.
I remember that Pokemon because he did resemble one of a Kaiju. I forget which one, but he did resemble something to me. Again, I forget who did he remind me of.
Hold on, let me just pull this back up. Magikarp. That's what you were talking about?
Yeah,
Becomes this.
yeah. Uh,
Ever wondered why?
yeah,
It's based on an old Japanese story about a pack of salmon that could never really get past a huge, long waterfall. And there was this one salmon that defied that rule and decided, nope, you all fail, I'm going to succeed. And he just kept jumping and jumping and jumping until eventually he jumped above the waterfall, which apparently for some reason it was the gateway into heaven or something like that. And the salmon jumped above the waterfall and basically became a dragon, which is why this thing is very dragon-like, even though it's not a dragon type in the game.
That's why TLC suggests that you don't go chasing waterfalls because you turn into fucking dragons.
Yep. It all comes back around. What is this guy?
Oh, hello. All right, I need like 10 minutes alone, please.
Okay. On that note, we passed the
That's
one
a weird way to end the episode.
Oh, 50.
Oh, it's the internet. You've seen worse.
On
Yeah.
that note, we passed the 1 hour mark, like 50 said we should be wrapping up. So, Tony, where can everybody find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So the best way to find me is Feature Presentation Productions on YouTube. We do a ton of shows. Like yesterday, we did Fancy Film Fights. So that's myself and Peggy Gubbins, her from the Schmodown. We do a show where we
We
pick
know
a
her.
random realm topic and draft it fancy style. Last week, yesterday, I should say, we did Rotten Tomato films 51%, 75%. Next week, we are doing movie couples because it's Valentine's Day ish time. Every Sunday, we have Feature Presentation Trivia League. That is where we get 4 random players, stick them in 2 teams, make a blender, and see what happens with them. Have a match with some of the most bizarre categories you'll ever see in your life. Mondays we have Digesting Cinema out on the podcast feed. That is hosted by Christina V, also from the Schmodown, and Aaron J. And they are doing the feature presentation challenge, which is 52 categories for 2 weeks. This week they are doing the 2010s with the movie Long Shot. And yeah, and we do like plethora of other things. Everyone all welcome. Come and join in. There's a ton of things you can get involved in.
Well, that's awesome. Nice. And 50, where could we find you?
You can find me on my YouTube channel, 50 Shades of Geek. You can find me on my gaming channel, 50 Shades of Gaming. You can also find me on Twitch, 50 Shades O Geek, without the F because apparently that was taken. I do a series on Twitch where I try, emphasis on try, to beat all of Pokemon Shield with a Shedinja. If you're a Pokemon fan, you know how impossible that is, and I already have run into several roadblocks over there. And also, you can check out my Patreon, where I'm designing a Pokemon game based on Israel, the country where I live in. It's a lot of fun. You should probably join in if you are a Pokemon fan.
That's awesome. Hey, Patreon is fun. I know from experience.
I got some new artwork. I'm gonna share it after the show. I think you'll love it, Ben.
Nice, awesome. And you can find me at my Twitter at BenRadio2. You can also find me here on the Media Swedish Network YouTube channel every Tuesday on Shooting the Breeze, every Saturday morning on Get Ready with 50, and our friends Matt and Soul, every Sunday morning at 9:30 on Ben's Hot Takes, every and what else? Saturday on Recapping the Past. Thank you, Brittany. And on my other YouTube page, Mount Schmodown, every Saturday on Mount Schmodown, where we dive into players' profile from the beginning of their career to where they are now. And that's a hell of a lot of fun.
Oh,
So,
you did get a chance to hear my story about how I ended up having to share a bed with Ryan Payne.
oh, next time. Next time. Always need them wanting more. Always need them wanting more. So, for this Thursday, that would be it. And we'll see you next time. Everyone, smash cancer and stay ready, and that will do it. Another bye bye.